Bene. Signore e signori, buongiorno e a nome di Italian Exhibition.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of IEG, welcome to Vicenza Oro 2023. This is a very special edition. This exhibition was born in 1954, and now we have filled all the pavilions. This is a record. There are about 1,300 companies exhibiting, and 60% of them are Italian. They are from Arezzo, Vicenza, Valenza, but also from other parts of Italy. We are here to talk about the Made in Italy, which is experiencing a double-digit growth. From 2019, we have a plus 40%, and this is a growth rate which has been supported by the synergies with companies, stakeholders, industry associations, the government, the ICE. And thanks of that, we have been able to support the growth of this great trade fair. We have all the stakeholders here. That's why we have decided to open up the exhibition here in the theater. We'll have institutional welcome first, and then we'll have a round table to talk about the savoir-faire, the know-how to do of the Italian industry. I would like to give the floor to the institutional authorities: Lorenzo Cagnoni, President of Italian Exhibition Group; Francesco Rucco, Mayor of Vicenza; Maria Cristina Franco, Deputy President of the Province of Vicenza. We are waiting for the Ambassador of India in Italy, Mr. Nina Malhotra. Then we have the Minister of Economic Development, Adolfo Urso; Luca Zaia, the President of the Veneto region; Stefano Miceli from the Ca' Foscari University; Claudia Piaserico, President of Federography, to represent all the national associations in the gold sector; and Roberto Luongo, Director General of ICE Agency, with the moderation of our friend Jose. And we will see the EG video clip first.
Invito il Presidente Lorenzo Cagnoni.
Please, Mr. Lorenzo Cagnoni, will you come up here? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this historical edition of the trade fair. I apologize for my croaky voice. Vicenza Oro, January 2023. Today, the world of jewelry and gold meet here in Vicenza to celebrate the excellence of Made in Italy production. I'd like to give a warm welcome to the President of the Veneto region, Luca Zaia, and to the Ministry of Companies, Adolfo Urso, who will be part of a round table concerning the typically Italian ability to make beautiful things, which is very much appreciated all over the world. We'll have Mr. Roberto Luongo, who is the Director General of ICE agency, which always play a major role in our trade fair. I'd like to welcome the Mayor of Vicenza, Mr. Francesco Rucco, the Deputy President of the province, Maria Cristina Franco, and all the civil and military authorities who have convened here. I would like to draw your attention on the presence of Dr. Dina Malota, Ambassador of India in Italy. India is a country where the confidence in the future is supported by economic and demographic boom underway, and they will overcome China, demographically speaking. At a glance, if you watch the pavilions, indeed, that does not show the work and the efforts made by the men and the women of Italian Exhibition Group, which have been conducted over the past months and weeks, in particular to make this edition the edition of records. This is the largest Vicenza Oro exhibition in nearly 70 years of history. This is one of the most important events in the industry in the world, thanks to the trust of national and international companies, of associations, institutions, professionals and agencies. It is thanks to them, also together with the buyers and visitors, well, all of them have to be thanked. We are proud to say this, maybe with a low voice. We are proud to open up the reference exhibition in Europe for the supply chain of gold and jewels and for the Made in Italy production in particular. Vicenza Oro, and we should never be tired of repeating it and supporting this statement, is one of the 3 reference exhibitions in the world for the industry. This is a fact and cannot be questioned. This is so because of the responses that the market is giving to our work. Exhibition system is a leverage to get international and to help Italian companies grow in the world. And the results are evident. The exhibition surface of the trade fair is occupied. We have more than 1,300 exhibitors from 36 countries. They are here for the jewelry event of Italian Exhibition Group, which is, together with T Gold, Vicenza Oro Vintage, and another important new area devoted to watches. I'd like to welcome you by undertaking that we will never be contented with these outcomes. Italian Exhibition Group will continue to invest and work in order to offer more and more opportunities to the industry of gold and jewels. This is a commitment we undertake Allow me to make some final comments. We have succeeded in achieving two objectives in the past year. We have the European leadership, which could not be even imagined not long ago, and the size of the exhibition. We have, well, gone beyond a very ambitious objective that we had, that is to go back to the results before the pandemic. That is size, wealth of contents. And this year, and here I close, we will pursue the beginning of the restoration works and enlargement of the trade fair area, because we want to increase the structural competitiveness of this district, because we have very fierce competitors. We will implement a radical renovation, which will imply huge investments made through self-financing. Going back to the years which went by, and the integration between the two trade fairs, the one from Rimini and the one from Vicenza, and casting a glance on the results that we have achieved, because we started and commit to focus on the potentials which could come from a very delicate and difficult operation, which is very suggestive. We indeed have to say that we are very, very glad and have a lot of confidence in the future. We know and are glad of that, that in these weeks we have been able to confirm that the workers and Mr. Carniello, the chief engineer, with his collaborators, indeed, they are a guarantee to have a rosy future in the ventures we will be into. And with these words, I welcome you again, and I wish you that you can enjoy the trade fair. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'd like to invite the Mayor of Vicenza, Mr. Francesco Rucco.
Una buona giornata a tutti.
With great happiness, we are opening a new edition of the fair after some difficult years. I would like to heartily greet and welcome here Minister Urso, the first minister I am seeing here in Vicenza since I've been the mayor of Vicenza. Thank you for coming at this important international event. Dear Adolfo, welcome. I know that you have your origins in the Veneto region, in Padua specifically, and you're very close to the Vicenza Fair. Thank you very much to President Zaia, our governor, who's always very close to Vicenza, our excellent Veneto governor. I would like to greet all the civilian and military institutions represented here today, and I will be very, very brief. I only want to highlight what we have gone through in recent times. Thanks to the IEG staff and the general manager, we have worked hard so that this fair would never be discontinued, not even during the COVID pandemic. During the lockdown, of course, we couldn't organize our event, but immediately we organized this as soon as it was possible, cooperating successfully, and I believe we have already won our challenge, because the figures President Cagnoni mentioned, and I would like to thank him for leading IEG S.p.A, well, these figures show that we have achieved flattering results. And we're not going to stop here. We want to go on growing. It is our target to bring Vicenza Oro higher and higher. The municipality of Vicenza, with its council, with alderman or councillor Giovinem, who together with us has organized the VI off series of events. We're opening our city to all the buyers who will have the possibility this year, like in the previous years, to visit our beautiful city, our beautiful province, enjoying their architectural, culinary and artistic amenities. So we are starting with more than 1,000 brands coming from 36 different countries. Vicenza is a city of gold, Vicenza is the city of the gold jewelry, and will go on being the capital of gold jewelry. So Vicenza Oro is related and strongly connected to the Vicenza brand, a community of international brands and jewelry manufacturing. I would like to welcome the new community time, the community for watches, and congratulations to IEG once again for the great job they have done, not only for this event, but for all their events that will be hosted in this beautiful city and these wonderful exhibition headquarters. I wish you all profitable proceedings. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I would like to invite Maria Cristina Franco, Vice President of the province, to take the floor. Good morning, everybody. I would also like to welcome the institutions, our minister, the governor of the region of Veneto, and all the people who are here today, making me proud of representing the whole province of Vicenza, next to the municipality that has just been represented by our mayor, who is also the president of our province. When confronted with these figures, after listening to Mr. Carniello and President Cagnoni, I cannot but express my pride. I have also worked very hard to meet the most important need of a growing industry, an industry that has amazing prospects, an industry that has grown fast together with the Vicenza Fair, an industry that has to rely on labor, specialized labor, professionals, young people, and today the Giornale di Vicenza has written an interview to the most important economic categories and their demand for young workforces. So I have worked hard together with the president of Confederafi, Claudia Piaserico, to involve schools, to involve our young people. And I'm very glad to announce that on Sunday morning, right here, we will have many young people of our schools, young people coming from other provinces as well, provinces that also focus on gold jewelry. And these young people will have the chance of listening to professionals who are going to make them fall in love with gold jewelry and all what it represents. So there's a practical, prompt reaction that we have tried to give to provide strength and continuity to this wonderful world, the Vicenza Fair. My compliments to President Cagnoni and his staff. Well done. Vicenza is right at the summit of Europe and of the world in this industry. Thank you very much, and profitable proceedings to all of you, to the stakeholders, to the buyers, and to all those who believe in this industry and with their courage and their will are making this industry grow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vice President of the province. Let's now move on to the second part of our opening ceremony. Envisaging a round table on the Made in Italy topic. This will be chaired by my dear friend Roberto Race, who's now going to introduce our guests. Good morning, everybody. I would like to introduce our guests, asking them to join me on the stage. Today we're going to talk about knowing how to do things, the know-how as a distinctive element of the Made in Italy excellence. And I would like to invite Stefano Micelli, professor at Ca' Foscaro University, the president of Federography, representing here all the national associations of the jewelry sector, Mrs. Claudia Piaserico, the general manager of the agency ICE, the International Italian Trade Commission, Mr. Roberto Luongo, the president or governor of the region, of the Veneto region, Mr. Luca Zaia, and the Minister for Enterprises and Made in Italy, Mr. Adolfo Urso. Before starting, I would like to show you a video about the excellence of Made in Italy. Thank you.
It is passion and style, heritage and diversity, creativity and innovation. It is about making exceptional things, talent, inspiration, engineering, design. We know how to make life worthwhile. Curiosity and dedication, bravery and imagination, expertise and precision. Vision, we've got it, but there's so much more to it. We think big while tackling the smallest details. We're imagining future paths while being inspired by our living past. We're builders, innovators, artists and scientists. But as you can see, there's still so much more to it. Everyday visionaries, original and refined, stubbornly authentic, with unmatched quality on our mind. We are all this, and you can be too. Every time you live it, wear it, feel it, taste it, you'll know it's true. It is our brand, cool and unique. Italy is simply extraordinary. Be it.
Beh, è un video che merita un applauso.
Well, the applause is well deserved. A video about the excellence of Made in Italy. And I would like to address this topic together with our minister, Mr. Urso. Let's start with you, Minister Urso, and then after 3 minutes I will stop you because, of course, we want to listen to all the discussants and we do not have much time available. And I know that President Zaya wants to go and visit the fair. Right. For an industry like jewelry exporting almost 90% of its production, the Ministry of Economic Development is very important. Which is a message you would like to give to the exhibitors right now that the fair has opened its doors? And what are you doing at your ministry? Well, of course it is my duty to be here today, also to highlight and recognize not only the great success you have reached organizing the largest fair in your history in an industry which is an excellence in Europe, but also because Giorgia Meloni, our Prime Minister, decided to change the name of our ministry. It is now the Ministry of Enterprises and of Made in Italy, and you are the excellence, the avant-garde of Made in Italy worldwide. So it is my duty to be here, but I have actually come back because, you know, the internet is our collective memory. And I had come here before in my previous role as Vice Minister for Foreign Trade. Remember that I also supported the fair merges involving Vicenza and the international competitiveness. On the 14th of September 2009, we organized the Gold Fair and opened the Gold Fair in Vicenza. So today I'm here, have come back to my original thinking. That is, this can be the ideal place to demonstrate to the world the excellence of the Italian product. Even more so today, since we're going through a very particular phase where Made in Italy has become the excellence brand of global production. And for this specific reason, not only did we change the name of our ministry, but we have also introduced in our financial law a related article that is dedicated specifically to enhancing the value of Made in Italy products all over the world, contrasting counterfeits, unfair competition, promoting the Made in Italy brand. And we're also going to introduce training in this context. Education and training also based on your academy and with the help of all the other institutes that have been developed, like the one about shoes in Brenta. So this is what was proclaimed in the election program, and this is what our government is going to do. We'll have a lyceum dedicated to Made in Italy, to train the professionals that are demanded right now. And on top of that, we have allocated 100 million euro to promote the industrial value chain of Made in Italy products. With your support and the example that you have given to Italy, to the fair system, to the industrial value chains with this extraordinary event bears witness to this. That is, we're going to promote the excellence of Made in Italy and the avant-garde nature of the whole Italian production. Also thanks to the most recent achievement at the European Union, which is particularly significant. Mr. Zaya knows about that because I believe that in 2009, Mr. Zaya was a Minister for Agriculture. Many battles that started at that time are being concluded right now. So I'm talking about the geographic denomination also for industrial manufacture. So Europe has recognized this entity, and we are now going to proceed in this direction. This is already a matter of fact for wines and food, for our agricultural culinary production with so many geographical denominations and denominations of origin. So we can do exactly the same today for manufacture. This is the new challenge, this is the new frontier, this is the new bet which we're taking on, starting here in Vicenza, to become once again the avant-garde of the Made in Italy worldwide. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister.
Micelli.
Professor Micelli, knowing how to make it has roots in history and has always been related to crafts and a system with very small companies, which are the backbone of the country. What is the role of the idea of knowing how to make it and do it? Well, thank you very much, and congratulations for the wonderful statistics. Indeed, this is most welcomed after many years of crisis. This is a subject which I like very much because I have been studying for many years the connection between the craft ability and the competitiveness of the Made in Italy manufacturing. This is done also at international level. The French people invested a lot in the research on the subject. We are increasingly aware, as we saw in the very beautiful video clip at the beginning of the round table, we are well aware that it is this very strong link between tradition, work, manufacturing, which creates the competitiveness of our companies. In the past, we used to think that crafts was connected only to small companies. Indeed, crafts are small or very small companies, and they have to be supported. As a matter of fact, the value of craft is their competitiveness also vis-à-vis medium and large-sized companies. They started from the industry of jewelry and the crafts, and they are very well aware of the value of this history that we want to support with the right education and training systems. I come from a city where a very important event was organized on the craftability, which is called Homo Faber. The city is Venice, and which is supported by the former president of the Maison Cartier. And interestingly, we have to note that it is the sector of jewelry to promote the idea and the importance of crafts, regardless of the size of the company, open up to the world and promoting the economic value based on the persons, the human beings and their skills, as well as their entrepreneurial abilities. Craftsmanship here means creating companies, meeting technology. Many 3D printers were created here for the jewelry sector, and they have become important in the world market because they were based in this very important movement locally. We heard about the three major clusters of gold and jewel in Italy. Today, more than ever, as we heard from the minister, we can no longer speak of enterprises or single companies. We have to speak about landscapes, backgrounds. We heard about infrastructures, schools, and we have to create ecosystems of value. So the company in itself has to be set into a wider landscape. And also people from universities like myself have to contribute to that. And there is an increasing awareness of the importance of this ecosystem, which is getting more and more international. I wish you can enjoy the trade fair, but all the basic elements are there because the ecosystem and the industry are well structured to be successful internationally. Thank you very much, Professor Micelli. Mrs. Piaserico, President, the knowing how to do is born from skills and abilities. You have indicated that there is a need to support young people and to organize the right training for young people. What are you doing as Federosophy, and what are the plans for the future? Thank you very much. And thank you very much for inviting me. It's always a great honor to be invited to the welcome ceremony. We need a lot of young people, and they have to be skilled, but in particular, we have to be able to appeal to young persons so that they can approach our industry. The main problem is that young people are not aware of the opportunities offered by our industry. Therefore, the choice or the assessment of the option to attend our schools rarely make people choose our industry. So based on specific research conducted on these feelings, we have decided to approach training as a problem of communication and reputation. These are the two key elements to solve this problem, which is not only that of creating schools, because schools are there. What is missing is the human capital. What are we doing in practice? We have projects in communication and reputation. As for communication, we have a project involving Scuola.net, which is the most known media for students for the guidance in choosing schools. There are millions of users and plus 6 million of users and followers. So they are opinion leaders, and then they can explain the opportunities which are there and which are not always so evident. There is a second project. I'm very grateful to Barbara Beltrami, the Deputy President, and Roberto Longo, Director of ICE, for the support they are giving us in this project on international communication. It's a unique project. It has two values. First of all, support the made in, telling how Italian jewels values not only to recover our craft skills. It is much more, because we speak about sustainability and we support values which are not so supported as they are here. Therefore, it expresses a higher added value. In doing that, famous international TikTokers who will visit our companies to explain what we do and what are our skills, and they will speak about professionals. So we'll have the opportunity to communicate through the right channels for young people and to speak about all the opportunities. The third point, the guidance day mentioned by the Deputy President of the province. We have organized this first guidance day for the students of Vicenza, Valenza, and Arezzo, so that they can see the stands, the booths, they can talk to entrepreneurs and the people working in our companies, so that they can learn about the 2023 jewelry and gold sector in Italy. As for reputation, I shall endeavor to be very brief. We started, or rather, we realized that we have to work on the issue of legality and of culture. Often so, people say that the industry is not very much ethical, is not very much reliable. We have to go outside that frame of mind. We should help families, helping students attend the schools, because unfortunately we realize that many families are those who advise their children not to approach the industry. So we are working with the police to fight against the problems of laundering, counterfeiting, false invoicing, and we are supported by the commander of Vicenza, who is helping us with the different topics to be addressed. We are working with the Ministry of Culture. We would love to offer the sector the possibility to be certified by UNESCO, so that the heritage of our knowing how to do, students and family could approach the industry, showing them that our work is a way to preserve the art of jewelry in Italy. A third project on culture concerns the world of arts, but I'm not telling that because it's being prepared. Thank you very much.
Lungo.
Director Longo, the Italian Trade Commission ICE has almost made us cry with happiness with that wonderful video, so moving. And we know you're doing a lot to internationalize company, but which is the state of health of gold jewelry, Italian gold jewelry abroad, and how are you supporting this industry? Well, thank you very much for the fact that you liked our video. It is a nation branding video of a very important campaign that aims at disseminating the knowledge of our country, pinpointing many different industries, so not only food and fashion, but also technology. So thank you very much for your appreciation. Regarding the Italian gold jewelry industry, well, we are going through an extremely positive period. We have data up to last September, but I think that this year export will almost reach 10 billion euro. It is a record-breaking figure. And we have to thank our companies for this. They're working very hard on many different markets, even though our traditional exporting markets, the USA, the Arab states, Switzerland, are all markets where we support Italian companies with our offices, but we also play a very important role with the promotion of different events abroad. We have so many different events that we carry out also together with Fiera di Vicenza. But allow me to say that the real heart of the ICE promotion aims at transforming the Vicenza pole, the gold jewelry pole. And let's not forget that we also have a very interesting whole dedicated to the Italian technology in the industry of gold jewelry. Italy is the world leader in this industry, and we must be proud of that. I would like to welcome the ambassador of India, who's here with us today. And we know that the exchange of technology and know-how is fundamental, and Italy is a leader in this respect. The ICE is significantly supporting the promotion of the Made in Italy brand together with Fiera di Vicenza. Today, for instance, we have brought 400 buyers coming from 64 different countries. And allow me to say that also our communication campaign, carried out together with IEG, allows us to say that about 10,000 professional visitors and 37 exhibitors are also the result of this promotional campaign. One last remark that is also related to the positive sides of our activities, the eco-sustainability of our products. I mean, these products are beautiful, well-made, trendy, fashionable, and they rely on a process that makes the Italian jewelry eco-sustainable worldwide. So This is a role played by the ICE together with the Ministry of International Cooperation and Foreign Affairs and the Ministry for Enterprises and Made in Italy. So we just hope for the next year to provide us with even better results, focusing as before on the Vicenza Fair, which is a world fair. And of the 3 fairs mentioned by President Cagnoni, I would like to say that an Italian fair has to become the world leader. And in my opinion, Vicenza Fair already is a leader in relation to the other 2 competing fairs. Wow, that's an important piece of news. Well, it is my wish, but I'm already persuaded that Vicenza is a world leader, so we must go on supporting it. Well, that is a wonderful conclusion that brings me to Governor Zaia. The Veneto region is full of companies that have been successful because of their know-how and their Made in Italy brand. Could you identify a common denominator for this success? What are you doing in your region? Well, first of all, thank you very much. Thank you, President Cagnoni. I would like to welcome the Ambassador of India, and I would like to greet Minister Urso, who was actually born in Veneto. Is that right? Yes, I was born in Veneto. Right. I can answer with one sentence. The pessimists are the only one who are not successful. I'm telling you this because the success of our area, of our community, I mean, think about this industry. We have about 1,300 companies, 3,000 is the work count. We have predominantly small to medium enterprises with 3.2 employees and about 2 billion euro worth of export. So, determination, goodwill, optimism, these are the drivers. And let's not forget this. We have T-Gold here that is a whole part of this exhibition which is dedicated to machinery, technology. We are innovators. Companies are innovating in Veneto. It is true. We have 80% of our companies that has less than 15 employees, so small and medium enterprises, as I was telling you before. But the number one innovators, the number one researchers are our entrepreneurs. And that's the secret of success. That's all. Minister Urso, so the know-how, knowing how to do things, is the fil rouge of our debate. President Pieserikas mentioned the project with schools. Are you already organizing something with the Ministry for Education and universities to allow for an exchange between schools, universities, and companies to avoid the existing mismatch? And which are the government programs today? And looking at the great results that have already been achieved, what are you going to do in the future? Well, we already have an initiative involving the Ministry of Culture, the Ministry of Universities, but of course also the Ministry of Agriculture. And we are defining the so-called cultural revolution that our school system requires today, with the purpose of doing what you've done with companies. We want to do the same in the Italian school system. And just to give you an example, I mean, think about the food and wine industry, which has been the pioneer, the avant-garde. Until a few years ago, if a young student told his or her parents, I want to be a chef, then the parent would think he wants to go and wash dirty dishes. But things have changed. If a child has this kind of ambition, parents would support them, because being a chef today is viewed as a creative activity. So this is what we need to do in all the different industries, highlighting, enhancing the creative and manual work. Of course, this goes hand in hand with technology and digitalization, but we must do this in the Italian school system, transforming the vocational institutes in made in Italy high schools or gymnasiums, where we can have the culture of manuality, dexterity related to the new professions that are in demand in our country. And we're also carrying out a censorship together with Confindustria, the Italian Industrial Association, to understand the needs of companies. Which professional figures do they need? And this applies to all the different industries. You have to start from the needs. A lot of investment in technology which is made in our country is not matched by a sufficient number of engineers who in the coming years will be able to work on these innovations. And I would like to conclude by saying, for instance, that as far as optic fiber is concerned, the number one difficulty for public providers is that they do not manage to provide the network because we do not have the workforce to lay the cables, the fiber optic cables. I'm not talking about the engineers, I'm talking about the workers. So that's the problem. It's like having two separate worlds, the industry and the schools. We have to create a dialogue. We have to merge these two worlds, following a specific strategy also as far as vocational training is concerned. We're going to do that, and we already have an ongoing debate with the system of the Italian companies. Thank you very much. Now, let's move on to our second round, 2 minutes each. Professor Micelli, there are many small companies in Italy that have been experimenting. As Governor Zaia told us, the Veneto is a good example for that. Can this be viewed as an explanation of the excellence in this industry? Absolutely. I believe that this is a correct interpretation. I agree with Governor Zaia. But talking about training, I would also like to add that we have a demographic problem. When I was born in the mid-60s, 1 million children were born. When my children were born, who are 22 years old now, 600,000 children were born. Last year, we had only 400,000 new children born, just to give you an idea. So this demographic decline affects the different professions in Italy. Alta Gamma, with a study I have also contributed to, states that in the next 5 years, we will be missing 30 to 40,000 professionals and professional job descriptions for small, medium, and large enterprises. The leading companies will be more attractive. I'm thinking about the Motor Valley in Emilia-Romagna. They will be able to attract talents, but small companies will have more difficulties. So this is what we need to do. We need to re-legitimize creativeness and innovation for the model to recover its energy and sprint. To conclude, I am a consultant for the Ministry of Education. I've had this role for 6 years, and we have made significant experiments. For instance, we put together technical institutes and small companies in the project ITS 4.0, thinking of the young people not only as people who need an orientation, but become determinant factors, active subjects of innovation. So given the figures I've just mentioned regarding our demographic situation, we have to ask young people to make a big jump, a quantum jump. They need to take over the jobs of their parents, their grandparents, introducing at the same time new technologies and new methods. And from this viewpoint, the relationship between schools and small enterprises must be a daily challenge for innovation, for rethinking. Schools and small enterprises have to imagine something new. They have to think about employing young people, not like they used to do in the past or based on what happened in the past, but thinking about the future. So I have quoted just one example. I'm sure that our minister could quote many of them. But what I mean to say is that what is an interesting experience must become the general rule. Not only because companies are asking for this, but because the country needs that, because of its confirmation. This acceleration is necessary, especially in an area like the Veneto region, where small enterprises today must be able to raise their head, relying on a supporting system. Thank you very much. President Piaserigo, would you like to express your opinion regarding schools? I mean, we have already heard quite a lot, but what does your industry ask today? Which is your request to the government? And what are other countries doing which we could learn? Well, let me summarize this in a few words. Attention, exchange, speed. Attention. I'm sorry, can I have a glass of water? Thank you. Attention. Director Longo told us this before. Oh, thank you. Sorry. So, the gold jewelry export is almost 10 billion euro. This makes up 13% of the fashion industry. This means that we have a significant weight regarding the Made in Italy brand, and this industry requires special attention. Also, because of the peculiarities of our raw materials. We're talking about gold, silver, gemstones, that are always at the center of a debate and require special attention and care, especially at European level. We are tackling a significant issue as far as silver is concerned, because at which level the European Union is evaluating the possibility of limiting and ruling in a new way the use of silver powder and silver metal. This means that we have to pay attention. Our government must avoid measures that would damage the whole industry. Second word, exchange. And exchange is based on an open dialogue, on a constant dialogue. We need to participate in an active way in the strategic decisions, because working in the field, we are the first ones to perceive market transformations, which can be very sudden, and emerging needs. And we're also the first testimonials regarding success activities and failure activities. So addressing public resources according to these specific indications is something we should hope for. Speed, because the longer we wait, the more we lag behind. Why are we different from other European countries? Just one example, we've been waiting for years for the adoption of the Vienna Convention, the Vienna Agreement regarding the branding of products. The process started in 19. In 3 years of Parliament debates, we have reached no conclusion yet, and we're starting from scratch now with the new government. This means limiting the circulation of products, affecting in a negative way a soaring export, confirming its performance of the last few years, and penalizing in economic terms companies with superfluous costs. So this is damage and unfair competition to our detriment. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Longo, director of the, I see, you talk with the different trade organizations, and you have a very fruitful dialogue And this is the reason why export is growing so much. What is the role or the strategic role of trade fairs? Well, I generally don't like to quote figures because people then begin to make comparison. So I will say that we are beyond 15 million euro in terms of support to the gold and jewelry sector in Italy. So that is a large share. So the main focus is Italy, but indeed we support also other districts such as Arezzo or the area of Naples. For example, corals in the area of Torre del Greco near Naples are very important. So we perform different activities. The idea is that Italian productions are presented at their best internationally. JGT in Dubai, JCK in Las Vegas. We have initiatives also implemented with the large retailers and Federorafi. Mrs. Piaserico stated that we are aiming communication policies to young people so that they can approach the world of gold and jewelry. I'm very glad that we have representatives of crafts associations here. Indeed, there are very good tips of the diamond in every industry. It's important to involve the small and very small companies, which are the backbone of our economy. We have to do that when we introduce our companies abroad. We want to support our companies in the international markets. We are strong because we have important gold and jewelry districts in many parts of Italy. So we have many visitors coming here. The international buyers come to Vicenza. They are interested to visit the individual companies. And one of the advantages of the Italian industrial system is that we can associate the local community, the companies, the tradition, the history, and this is the wealth of the Made in Italy approach. It's an harmonious process which is bearing its fruits, thanks also to the support of our branches abroad and the promotional campaigns. Thank you very much. Now, President Zaia, one of the most important clusters for gold and jewelry is the one of Vicenza. What is doing the Veneto region to support the cluster? Do you have a message to convey to the companies? What is the support that you provide concerning the different needs that President Piaserico raised? It's a $1 million question. Well, as a matter of fact, we are the only region in Italy where we don't levy regional taxes, that is minus nearly 2 billion euros per year. We have a training system which is very successful. There are 20,000 children who study in the training schools. That means we will have to create employment for 20 to 30,000 young persons. As for the Veneto region, we continue to invest in the different budget lines. We have community funds and the recovery plans. We have to be proud, because people say that Italy is not using the European funds. As a matter of fact, there are some regions who use the funds, and we indeed, if we were to receive the funds which are not used by our region, by other regions, we would be able to invest. We want to have reputation, credibility, reliability, locally to be the same nationally and internationally. If we compare our region with Sweden, who had requested for the 8th time to host the Olympics, and we had them for the 2nd time, you know, this is my secret message to Minister also, who indeed is very interested in having international investors. So Veneto will grow and will continue to grow. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. Minister, the floor to you for the conclusions. President Pizzerico asked a very specific and operational question. I'm sure that you will be able to tell us how that process could be accelerated. What are the targets, and what are the investments for the industry this year and the future? Well, the answer to the request by Mrs. Pizzerico is yes, indeed. We are committed to achieve the targets ASAP. We'll have a dialogue. I think that next Monday, the meeting for the fashion industry is convened, and we'll have a dialogue with all the different parts of fashion, including jewelry and gold, in the light of the extraordinary funds, the attachment to the economic and financial law that we have to write. This is indeed a cultural revolution. So I hope that meetings could be organized in Italian schools to speak about the value and the importance of the made in Italy approach. So to react to Mr. Zaia, I called you minister. Yes, now we are president. You used to be a minister in my government. You are now the president of this region. It is not by chance that the first months of this government, I reaffirmed the role of the government, but never to the detriment of foreign investors. That was done for the Lukoil dossier. The owners are Russian, and we never interfered with the owners. They decided to sell to other international investors, well, a company from Cyprus and a Swiss fund. So we decided to help them to continue with their production, not to cut the supplies in terms of energy. We did that with Minister Giorgetti. ITA, the airlines, now Lufthansa could become a very important strategic partner for the development of Italian airports to improve the welcome of tourists. We are doing that for the iron and steel industry in Italy. We passed a decree concerning the company Ilva, producing steel. We stressed the importance of the national approach as a strategic choice. We want to have a green iron and steel pole, which will have to be an example for the whole world. We are doing that also for the ITCs, and TIM announced that we will implement a national network controlled by the government with full respect of foreign investors. And new investments in Italy have been announced because we are considered reliable. So we hope that more significant investments could come in technology which is the most advanced future, also for the future of chips, for the economy of the future. And there is a full synergy between the government and the regions. We do believe that Italy, in the present geopolitical situation, could become a very important industrial platform for Europe and the West. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister.